What's going on, guys? It's Ben with liftedimports.com, and today I wanted to talk to you about batteries. Now, you'll have to forgive me, it is super hot here today, so my HVAC system is running. You might hear some of that in the background. I'm sorry, but it's like 110 in here, and actually it's probably hotter than that. It's like 105 outside, so apologies ahead of time for that. But let's go ahead and jump into what I want to talk about today. And I'm a little hesitant to make this video, but I've gotten enough questions about it from friends and acquaintances, probably just within the last 6 months, that I think it's worth talking about. I want to share with you just a few alternatives to a certain battery option that you may be considering. I don't know if I want to say the battery out. I'll just say it is Optima. So a lot of people want to buy Optima batteries. I used to really like Optima batteries, and I get a lot of people on, like, Facebook or Instagram or wherever, be like, what Optima is best for my ride. But I want to share with you today some of my favorite alternatives to Optima. Now, I typically don't like to tell people not to run certain products, but what I will say is I think that there's better options out there now. And I don't remember when this exchange took place, but Optima is now owned by, I believe, Johnson Controls. And when I worked in the commercial auto parts industry, I would see a lot of Optima units come back for seemingly no reason at all. They used to be like the way to go. I'd considered using their batteries for a period of time until I started seeing that, until I started seeing them, coming back with failures for, like I said, almost no reason. I kind of started looking to see if there were other options. So I'll just share with you some basic information, and I'll just list off some brands that I think you might want to check out that are either going to be the same or roughly the same price for what you're getting. And these are going to be batteries that I have seen people beat the heck out of, batteries that I've personally beat the heck out of and had really good luck. I think batteries are important just because if you don't have one or yours fails, your car is bricked if your battery malfunctions. And with all of the electronic systems that are in vehicles today and all the accessories that we're all running, we need to be running a battery that we can depend on. If you're like me and you're 30 miles from the nearest paved road and you're stuck because your battery failed, or you can't run your winch because your battery took a dump, or you can't get your car started because the battery failed on you. And I have not ever owned a Subaru, ever. Except for I bought one brand new. I bought one Subaru brand new years ago. But aside from that, every single Subaru I've ever owned has had some sort of damage resulting from battery leakage, right? So that acid can come down, get down onto the unibody frame rails and begin to eat away at the paint and begin to deteriorate the integrity of the steel of your vehicle's unibody. We definitely do not want that, especially when it gets down and is in a place where you're never looking. You're never looking under there. I've had that happen in my own cars. I've seen it happen in other people's vehicles. And so I always like to run AGM or absorbed glass matte batteries. They're also much more resistant to vibration. And obviously, if you're like me, you're taking your car off-road onto washboard roads, gravel roads, dirt roads, trails, you're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. That type of driving is exactly what lead acid batteries do not like. That vibration over time deteriorates the lead plates inside, and it will start to cause that corrosion inside the battery. And you'll notice a lot of times the batteries will swell, the cases will swell. I've actually got one right here. You're not really going to be able to see this, but this battery has a swollen case. Oh, it's not going to focus. Fudge. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but I just want a battery that I can put in the car, not worry about it corroding and then just leaking out and not failing on me. So that's why I run AGM batteries. So you might even just be asking the question, well, why shouldn't I just run my stock battery? You can. I just prefer not to. And if you're like me and you like things to exceed your demands, 10 out of 10, a good AGM battery, or you could even do lithium, but I think lithium's typically going to be overkill for people that aren't tracking their cars. Although I will say, if I had a lot more money, I'd probably run lithium batteries in all my cars. So that may be you, maybe not. But anyways, so let me just go ahead and share some alternatives for you that I think will do you very well. Now, my favorite is the Full Throttle battery line from Full River Batteries. Full Throttle batteries are sick. I love them. I own 3 of them currently. I actually have one in this Forester. I have done so many crazy things in this car since I've had the battery in there. 0 problems with the battery. I have one in my daily driver. That one in particular has been fully discharged, I think 2 times, and no problems at all. I've just charged it right back up, put it on the battery tender, bring it back up to full charge. No problems, nothing, no problems at all. Typically, if you fully discharge a traditional lead acid or a low quality battery, you fully discharge them and they're toast. You're going to have all sorts of problems in most cases if you do that. But with these batteries, I really haven't had a problem. I also have one in my Jeep. I put it in my Jeep because I run a decent sized winch on it. It's a 9,500 pound winch, and it's not uncommon for me to pull substantially larger vehicles using this winch. So I needed something that I could rely on that would handle all the abusive power demands that I've got. It's been fully discharged before. I accidentally left the lights on. It is what it is. No problems, seriously. Like, I never have a question about whether or not those batteries are gonna work. And we get super cold temps, super hot temps. So yesterday it was 111 outside and no problems. Then in the winter, it's not crazy for us to get down to -10 or -15. We get, and I'm talking Fahrenheit, we get really cold here in the winters as well. 0 problems despite having a huge range of extreme temperatures. Now, another brand you might want to check out would be Odyssey. Odyssey's a great battery company that you can check out. Odysseys are great, and those you might even be able to find at your local parts store, just sort of depends. But you're gonna have a lot of options from them as well. They make a lot of sizes. I have heard very few negative things about their stuff. Check them out. Also want to check out companies like Braille. Braille makes a line of AGM batteries that are really solid, as well as some really good lithium batteries if that's something that you need. If none of those work for you, you could always check out Excess Power. Excess Power is a great company. Their following sort of came from the performance car audio industry. That's sort of where their customer base grew from, was the car audio industry. And those guys, they have pretty serious power demands. They also just recently introduced a lithium line as well, so you can check those out. They may be a little bit out of your price range. If you're like me, it's kind of hard to stomach spending like $800 on a battery. But I will say, a lithium battery is going to last you a lot longer than even an AGM battery. So in the long run, you do save money, but it is hard to stomach that up front. You could also check out companies like Anti-Gravity if you want lithium. Anti-Gravity, I believe they make some deep cycle batteries. I don't know that they make any AGM stuff right now. I think their main customer base and just their goal is to just make good lithium batteries. Those are really cool. If you have a track car, I would absolutely recommend those because they weigh nothing. They weigh like the same amount as a box. The first time I picked one up, I was like, what in the fudge is this? This is a real battery? I thought it was like a display model or something. So you can check out Anti-Gravity as well, but those are just some really basic recommendations as far as brands that you might want to explore if you're currently considering an Optima battery. Now, like I said, I don't like to tell people not to buy things. I just like to share my experience and my opinion, what I would personally put on my own shopping list if I was in your position right now and was looking for this specific thing. I always like to approach these conversations in that manner, and these are the options that I would be looking at if I was in the position of saying, well, I really want to get an upgraded battery, what should I be looking at? These would be some great options for you to check out. Now, mounting your battery correctly is also important. You definitely want to make sure that you have a good battery mounting system. I use Melee Design firm battery mounts in all my cars. That may not be something that you want to do. I really like them. I think they're great. I like that they allow you to really hold the battery in place without putting concentrated pressure anywhere on the battery. Because if you wrench down a stock battery tie down really tight, you're focusing a lot of pressure in one specific section of the battery, and that is absolutely going to lead to case deformation, which down the road can damage your battery. You definitely don't want to have that happen. Same thing if you're planning to add a second battery or relocate your battery. These Melee mounts that I use, I really like them because they're modular. They can go anywhere you want pretty much. If there's metal, you can attach them. I use riv nuts to do it. You can weld them in. I don't really like that idea. I don't like things to be permanent like that. I like to be able to move things if I want. But I just use riv nuts. I just drill where I want them, put the riv nuts, boom, tighten them down. And I'm telling you, man, like I could probably like tow the car from my battery mounts. They're pretty sturdy. So you can use whatever you want, but just make sure you're not using some ghetto like bungee cord. I'm telling you guys, I've been in a situation where my buddy kept having these weird failures. We were out on the trails and he was in a 4Runner. He kept having this weird problem where his car was shutting off. And I don't even remember now what the deal was. I don't remember what it was that kept shorting out, but he didn't have his battery tied down. It was literally bungee corded, and we were like just smashing on our cars that day. And his battery kept like bouncing and moving, and it would pull. I don't remember what wire it was that it was pulling, but that wire was like, it was smoking like crazy. We're lucky it didn't start a fire. But yeah, don't just all willy-nilly just put your battery in your engine bay. Make sure it's secured properly. At the very least, use a good wide battery tie down. Anderson Design and Fabrication makes one, and then Melee Design Firm also makes one that's very similar. I actually have that on one of my vehicles. It's really nice. It's actually on a family member's vehicle, but these tie downs are really nice because they're wide and they allow you to just utilize the factory tie down spots. I know this was a lot of rambling, a lot of silly ranting, but these are just some options that I want to give to you guys that you can take, and you can start researching which battery fits in your budget. They're all going to be real close in price if you're looking at similar group sizes. Just know that these are batteries that the brochure numbers are gonna match pretty closely what you actually get. So if it says 850 cold cranking amps on the brochure, on the box, or on the website, when you get it, it's actually going to perform the way that it says it does, because these are legitimate products made in factories that these companies have direct control over, and their quality control is far and above the stuff that you're gonna find with parts store batteries or with some of these other options that are out here. So these are what I like. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Let me know in the comments what kind of Subaru you're driving, or just what kind of cars you're driving. I like all cars. And then let me know what kind of mod you got or what kind of mod you want to do. Guys, until next time, I'll see you out on the trail. Thanks for hanging out.